Cold Pursuit is a new revenge action thriller movie starring Liam Neeson, Tom Bateman, Laura Dern, Emmy Rossum, among others. It's directed by, I don't actually remember their name. Is it Tom Peter something? Tom Petter something. I can't remember his name. This film is apparently a remake of another movie that came out in 2014, some kind of Norwegian vigilante thriller. And of course, this one, the big theme between both of these movies, it follows revenge. Before I get started on the synopsis and actually breaking down what this film is, I do want to briefly address the Liam Neeson elephant in the room, so to speak. Anybody that wants to know how I feel about the whole Liam Neeson controversy and the comments and the story that he told 40 years ago or whatever, the racist thoughts that he had after a friend of his got raped and yada, 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 that whole story, if you want to know what I think about that shit, follow me on social media because I do have some strong opinions on it. And if you came to this video looking for me to bash Liam or to defend Liam one way or the other, you're not going to get that here. I'd like to keep the focus on the movie. I don't want this channel to turn into a gossip channel where I have to address all the other stories and all the other stuff that happens outside of the production. Rest assured, I do have an opinion on it. Maybe you can ask me in the comment section and I might be able to answer you. But again, if you follow me on social media, you'll know how I feel about that. I'm here to review a movie, so let's get into it. Cold Pursuit, like I said, is a film that focuses on the theme of revenge. Liam Neeson himself stars as a snowplow family man. He has a wife, he has a son, he lives in this small town called Kehoe. And one day his son gets mixed up with some kind of drug situation gone bad. His son gets killed for it. Liam Neeson is out for revenge. He wants to find out who killed his son and why. He starts tracking down all the people that were involved in his son's death, and that puts him on the radar of a big, huge drug dealer that was involved in this whole situation. The further it gets, the more dangerous it gets for Liam Neeson, and the more twisted the mystery gets, so to speak. I went into this movie kind of expecting your typical early-year Liam Neeson action thriller. It's kind of funny that Liam Neeson a few years ago came out and was like, I'm tired of doing action movies, I don't really want to do action movies anymore. And then he comes out and he's in a movie like Cold Pursuit, and you're just kind of like, well, you might be tired with the action movies themselves, but you ain't tired of the paychecks that come from the action movies. So maybe next time Liam could keep his doubts and his feelings of I'm tired of this shit to himself. I mean, Danny Glover says, I'm tired of this shit all the time, but at least we know he means it. I will say, however, that this is not your standard issue, typical Liam Neeson action thriller. I mean, yes, it does have some action in it. Yes, Liam Neeson is good in the movie. He's a good actor. He's usually good in these type of movies. This dude could sell you on pretty much anything at this point. He does have a few requisite badass moments in the movie. I'm not saying that he doesn't. In fact, I'm pretty sure that no matter what movie Liam Neeson is in, it is required from him contractually to have a couple of badass moments, like maybe 2 or 3 badass moments in the movie, regardless of what kind of movie it actually is. So he could be in a movie for kids where he's actually playing the voice of Barney or something, and Barney is still gonna wreck some shit in that movie. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So while that is a thing in the movie, and there are some good action scenes in the movie, and I would say the action scenes overall are shot competently, a little bit hyper-edited, but overall they look pretty good. I would actually classify this more as like a crime drama / dark comedy. That's no bullshit. This is actually more of a comedic movie than it is an action movie. There's quite a bit of humor that is thrown into the movie, thrown into the screenplay. A lot of moments where it's really dark humor and you just kind of have to be that type of person to get it and roll with it. I thought that was intriguing. I thought that was different. I thought that was an interesting style choice for a movie like this because they absolutely could have just played it straight, taken it serious, and they could have just had this be your usual Liam Neeson action movie that comes out either in January or February of whatever given year. Actually took their time to try to write some clever-ish jokes into the narrative, and I won't lie, I did chuckle at a few of them, and I thought that's a different choice, it's a different style, and I thought it was intriguing for this type of movie. It does have some very effective slow-mo shots and some very effective zoom-ins, and I will say that the cinematography definitely does a good job of making you feel cold. Cold-ass movies like this are the reason why niggas ain't gonna play hockey, and it's the reason why niggas just aren't gonna do anything cold affiliated. Like, we're not gonna do any shit like this. Niggas don't like rock climbing, niggas don't like picnicking out and living out in the Arctic. That's just not what we do, okay? We're not those type of people. Okay, maybe it's wrong that I'm speaking for my entire race. I shouldn't speak for the whole culture. I'm sure there are some black folks out there that do like cold weather shit, but I'm just not one of them. What I find ironic about that is the fact that I'm a guy that doesn't like cold, and yet most nights when I'm sleeping, my fan is on. Like, even if it's on the lowest setting, I leave my fan on for some strange reason. It's weird. I don't really have an explanation for why I am the way I am. I don't think everything in this movie landed, and I walked out feeling like, it was just kind of okay. It was kind of meh, kind of mid. For one thing, even though the movie does try to utilize a lot of dark humor in its screenplay, I will say that most of the jokes actually aren't really that funny. Humor is obviously a very subjective thing. Somebody else could watch this movie and they could think that it's like the most hilarious dark comedy that they've ever seen. Me personally, I've seen dark comedies done way better than this. There are a few chuckle-worthy moments, but they were few and far between considering the type of movie this was trying to be. came across as try-hard. And because it came across as try-hard, it made the movie tonally feel a little bit disjointed. I'd probably say my biggest issue with this film is the fact that this movie failed to get me emotionally invested really in anything that was going on. It's hard to really feel invested in the characters and the storylines and everything, the way it came together here. You're watching the movie, and I feel like I was only watching it for Liam Neeson because I like Liam Neeson and I've enjoyed him in the past in movies. It was hard for me to feel emotionally invested in his character because his character honestly felt kind of emotionally detached from everything else that was happening in the movie. I would probably say that's the case for most of the other characters in this movie, and as a result, it affected the storylines associated with these characters. Very emotionally detached movie, and they didn't do a good job at establishing the relationships, establishing the chemistry and the dynamics between the characters, so I did get bored quite a bit in this movie. In fact, there was a point late in the movie where I actually almost fell asleep. I do like some of the subtle ways that they focused on some of the racism that Native Americans still have to face, that they face in places just like this in the real world. I did like that. They kind of subtly wove that into the film, but it doesn't really improve the quality of the film overall. Unfortunately, Cold Pursuit is just a really average movie, and just like most average movies, it goes in the fortress of solitude. Those are my thoughts on Cold Pursuit. Sorry I haven't actually had a chance to do a lot of videos lately. I've been very busy trying to get my life in order, basically. So I do have a lot more videos coming for you guys. I have another review for What Men Want that's going to be out later this weekend. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace!